Deep beneath our streets, in the maze of pipes that run under our cities, there's a huge problem that most of us never see. And it's a secret that's costing our cities millions. Okay, get ready for this number. 35 to 50%. That's how much of the water your city's wastewater system treats is water it should never have to deal with in the first place. A staggering amount, right? So you have to ask, where is all this extra water coming from? Well, it isn't coming from our homes or local businesses. Nope. This is perfectly clean rainwater and groundwater. Some people call it phantom water, and it's leaking into our sewer systems, overwhelming treatment plants, and costing an absolute fortune in energy and wasted money. So this whole leaky secret thing, well, it actually has an official name, and it's a massive, massive headache for just about every city out there. It's called inflow and infiltration, or just I&I for short. And here's the best way to think about it. If a city's sewer system is like its arteries, then I&I is like a slow, constant internal bleed. It's clean water just seeping in 24/7 through countless cracks, broken pipes, and faulty connections. For decades, the hardest part of solving this problem wasn't actually the repair work itself. It was the hunt. And that's the real kicker. Fixing a leak? That's the straightforward part. The true challenge has always been finding the darn thing. I mean, these leaks are invisible, buried deep underground, and spread out across miles and miles of pipes. It's a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the size of an entire city. And the old ways of hunting for them? Oh man, it was basically a super expensive guessing game. You had smoke testing, but that depends on the weather and misses deep leaks. You had these little CCTV cameras, but they could only inspect one single pipe at a time. So slow. And manhole inspections, they only really work if you happen to be looking when water is actively flowing in. The whole process was just clunky, inefficient, and honestly, a lot of the time, it led nowhere. But what if you could stop hunting in the dark? What if you could flip a switch and give the system a way to tell you exactly where it's hurt? Well, that's where this new data-driven approach comes in. This is a technology called BASINiQ, and instead of that old-school brute force searching, it does something brilliant. It gives the entire water system a kind of nervous system. It actually lets engineers listen for problems and see exactly where the pain points are all day, every day. So how does it do it? It's a pretty cool three-step process. First, they create these incredibly accurate 3D scans of each manhole, a digital twin, so they can measure flow perfectly. Second, they deploy a huge network of lightweight radar sensors. Just think of them as hundreds of tiny stethoscopes listening to the system around the clock. And finally, this is the key. They combine all that sensor data with hyperlocal weather information to see exactly how the pipes react the moment it starts to rain. And the result of all this? I mean, just look at this comparison. It's a massive leap. What used to take years of that painstaking, frustrating work can now get done in just 60 to 90 days. That is 10 to 20 times faster. It's not just an improvement, it's a completely different ballgame. Okay, so it's fast, but how does it actually zero in on one specific leak out of thousands? Well, the strategy is brilliant. It starts with a city-wide view and then zooms all the way in. It's a smart two-phase approach. Phase one is the major basin study. Think of this like a high-level scan of the whole city, ranking which neighborhoods have the absolute worst leaks. Then, once they found a hotspot, they launch phase two, the target basin study. They go into that one problem area and just flood it with a dense network of sensors to pinpoint the exact broken pipe or faulty manhole. It's just like going from a satellite map right down to street view. And get this, deploying these sensors is remarkably simple and, more importantly, safe. They're lightweight and you can install them quickly without anyone having to do a hazardous confined space entry. This is a huge deal because it lets cities deploy hundreds of them at a time, creating that dense nervous system we talked about. And this is the aha moment. This is the payoff. When it rains, that's what you see in the gray bars down at the bottom, the data from all those sensors creates what is basically a treasure map to the leak. The colored lines show the water flow in different pipes. You can literally see which pipes suddenly spike with extra water, leading investigators right to the source. It's incredible. And these aren't just hypotheticals. The real-world results are stunning. In Madisonville, Kentucky, this method zeroed in on a single degraded manhole. Fixing just that one issue is now expected to prevent millions of gallons of clean water from flooding their system every single day. Millions. From one spot. And that's not an isolated case. In another study, a single hole in a manhole was found to be leaking over 1 million gallons a day during a rainstorm. Let that sink in. One hole, 1 million gallons. The scale of this problem is just mind-boggling. So what does this all mean when you pull the lens back for our cities and for us? It means we're walking into a totally new era of managing our infrastructure. The advantages of this approach are truly transformational. It's dramatically faster, results in months, not years. It's more cost-effective, and it's far safer for city workers. It lets you target repairs with laser precision, and maybe most crucially, it helps protect our environment by preventing sewer overflows into our waterways. Ultimately, this isn't just a story about pipes and water. It's about building smarter, more resilient cities. When you can fix problems faster, save taxpayer money, and better protect public health and the environment, that's a clear win for absolutely everyone. It really leaves us with one final big thought. We've just seen how a network of sensors can give a city's water system a voice. If we can solve a problem this massive just by knowing how to listen, what other invisible city systems are just waiting to tell us where they're broken?